In a collection of scattered papers, a secret is hidden. Thousands of pages filled with dense, backward script. When held to a mirror, the writing reveals its secrets. But the words are even stranger than the script itself. Among the notes are detailed schematics for an armored fighting vehicle, a precursor to the modern tank. And here, a design for an aerial screw, a machine that could bore its way into the air, the ancestor of the helicopter. These weren't science fiction. They were the private notes of a man living in the 1400s, Leonardo da Vinci. Born in 1452 in the small Tuscan town of Vinci, Leonardo was the illegitimate son of a notary and a peasant woman. This status barred him from universities and noble professions. This may have freed his endlessly curious mind to explore unconventional paths outside of a formal education. His father recognized his artistic talent and apprenticed him to Andrea del Verrocchio, a leading artist in Florence. Here, Leonardo learned not just painting and sculpture, but mechanics, chemistry, and metalworking. His genius quickly became apparent. But Leonardo seems to have sought greater opportunities than Florence could offer. In 1482, he moved to Milan in search of a new patron. He wrote a letter to Ludovico Sforza, the powerful ruler of Milan, offering his services. But here's the surprise. In his 10-point list of skills, the first 9 were all about military engineering. He promised Sforza secret weapons, portable bridges, cannons that fired shrapnel, and ships that could resist attack. And most famously, he offered to build covered chariots, safe and unassailable, which we now call the tank. Only at the very end of the letter did he add that he could also execute sculpture and paint. Leonardo entered the service of Ludovico Sforza in Milan. It was the start of a nearly 2-decade period of incredible creativity. While he painted masterpieces for the court, he also dedicated enormous energy to his private notebooks. Here, he explored a vast range of interests, filling page after page with observations and inventions. He used mirror writing, historians believe, to make it harder for others to steal his ideas, or perhaps because he was left-handed. His armored car was a marvel of design. Shaped like a tortoise, it was covered in metal plates to deflect cannon fire. It was powered by 8 men inside, turning cranks connected to the wheels. A lookout tower sat on top. However, the design contained a fundamental flaw. The gear system was arranged in a way that it would not move. Was this a mistake? Or did Leonardo, who wrote of the horrors of war, intentionally add a flaw to prevent its creation? None of his war machines for Sforza were ever built. They were too complex or expensive for the technology of the day. But his notebooks weren't just about war. Leonardo was fascinated by a far grander challenge: human flight. He spent years dissecting birds, studying the mechanics of their wings and the flow of air. He wrote, "A bird is an instrument working in accordance with mathematical law, which is within the capacity of man to reproduce." His ornithopter was designed to be powered by a pilot using hand levers, foot pedals, and a system of pulleys. His studies seem to have led him to a critical problem. Human muscles alone were likely not powerful enough to generate the necessary lift. This may have led him to a different concept: not flapping, but screwing through the air. The idea for the aerial screw was born. This machine, with its helical rotor made of starched linen, was a stunning conceptual leap towards the modern helicopter. It lacked only one thing: a power source. The internal combustion engine was still 400 years away. Leonardo's curiosity was boundless. He turned his sharp eye from the sky to the human body. To understand it, he performed dissections, a practice that was restricted and controversial at the time, requiring him to work in hospitals and medical schools. His anatomical drawings were centuries ahead of their time, revealing the inner workings of the body with unprecedented accuracy. He was the first to accurately draw the human spine and correctly state the number of vertebrae. This deep knowledge of science was not separate from his art. It was the very foundation of it. Look at The Last Supper. The emotion, the perspective, the human drama, all are informed by his scientific studies. His understanding of optics and how light works led him to pioneer techniques like sfumato, creating soft, hazy outlines. In Leonardo, art and science were not two separate fields. They were one and the same, a quest to understand the world. In 1499, French forces invaded Milan, and Leonardo's patron, Sforza, was overthrown. He was forced to flee. For a time, he found work with the military commander Cesare Borgia, putting his engineering skills to practical use. He traveled through Italy as Borgia's chief military architect, surveying land and designing fortifications and canals. But his time with Borgia was short-lived. He eventually returned to Florence, where he would paint his most famous portrait. He carried the Mona Lisa with him for the rest of his life, constantly refining it, and by some accounts, never considering it finished. In his final years, Leonardo found a great admirer in King Francis I of France. The king gave him a manor house, a generous pension, and the title, first painter, architect, and engineer to the king. Francis I was fascinated by Leonardo's mind, and according to the writer Vasari, the king would visit him frequently for conversation. Leonardo died here in 1519, at the age of 67, far from his native Italy. He bequeathed his most prized possessions, his paintings and all his notebooks, to his loyal apprentice, Francesco Melzi. But after Melzi's death, his heirs sold and dispersed the vast collection of notebooks, which were then broken up and scattered. Some were lost for centuries, hidden away in private libraries, their significance completely unrecognized. It was only in the 19th and 20th centuries that scholars began to piece the collection back together. As they deciphered the mirror script, the true, breathtaking scope of Leonardo's mind was finally revealed to the world. Why did he keep all this secret? He never published his findings, which could have transformed the course of science. Some historians believe he feared the Church's condemnation or that his ideas would be misunderstood and ridiculed. Others think the notebooks were simply his private conversation with himself, an endless project of understanding, never meant for an audience. His designs for the tank and helicopter were not just fantasies. They were grounded in his deep understanding of mechanics. While some designs had flaws, they failed primarily because the world he lived in lacked the materials and power sources to build them. He had the mind of a modern engineer, but was trapped by the technology of the 15th century. Leonardo da Vinci was more than a great artist. He was a prototype of the modern scientist, driven by relentless curiosity. His notebooks are a testament to the limitless potential of the human mind to see beyond its own time. A mind that designed the future, 500 years before it arrived, and left us the blueprints to prove it. Leonardo wasn't the only genius whose ideas were lost or ignored for centuries. History is filled with forgotten visionaries. To uncover more stories of minds ahead of their time, make sure you subscribe to World History Tales. Thanks for watching.